The fourth evil thought is anger. Have you ever lost control? When we think of anger, we probably imagine an emotional reaction that accompanies aggressive behavior or something to that effect. We think of getting mad because of something that happened to us. And those are valid ways of thinking about anger, and that's a common emotion that we are meant to feel. However, I want to talk about a specific type of anger. Now, to Evagrius and many of the early Christian monks, they thought of anger in a specific way. While we might think of it as an impulsive reaction in which we let our emotions take over before our thoughts have a chance to keep us in check, they thought of anger as an ill-fated fixation that slowly erodes our mental safeguards until we act in a harmful way. It starts as a small thought, just something minor which irritates you. It can be a real threat or annoyance, or just a perceived one. The thought festers, intensifying and adding inclinations to violence. Eventually, the thought overwhelms the mind and erupts into an outburst. Let's imagine that a family member has a habit of doing something that annoys you. You like to keep the entryway tidy and have coats and keys put in a certain place designated for them. Your spouse does not always do this. Sometimes he or she comes in, drops their keys on the table, throws their coat over a chair, walks away and forgets about them. Then they do this again and again and again. The first few times are annoying, but then it becomes an issue, and then it becomes an argument, possibly with yelling or physicality. This could be one way in which anger fuels a small thought, a spark, into a burst of flame. Anger harms us in a variety of ways. When it explodes into a physical altercation, it has the damaging physical effects, which could be as minor as a bruise or some property damage, but could also go as far as murder, depending on the severity of the situation. As the angry thoughts grow bigger, it clouds the mind, leaving less and less space for good thoughts. It also dehumanizes the target of anger. What helps prevent an outburst, especially violence, is recognizing shared humanity and, as Christians, acknowledging that they are also an image of God. Anger corrodes this image until we perceive others as little more than the object of our wrath. Evagrius believed this also had the ironic effect of making the angry person less human by being animalistic or bestial. To soothe anger, the first remedy is expunging mental images of doing harm to others. And if that does not work, then replace them with images of kindness to the same people. If that still does not work, then one needs to go even further and act out those kind thoughts. Behaving in love and compassion leaves little room for anger to persist. Now, I mentioned earlier that anger is a common emotion. We naturally feel it, and Evagrius thought of anger as one of the most useful emotions, but also the one most often twisted to evil purposes. Anger can be good if directed against sin. It would take an awfully aware and disciplined person to direct one's anger in a selfless way and resist using it for selfish means. But I say this to let you know that not all anger is bad. When we do feel angry, it is best to deal with it immediately rather than let it grow into something uncontrollable.